close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Yeah. Everybody knows that I'm breaking down. Everybody knows I ain't faking now. Everybody knows my heart's faking now. Yeah, she hates me now, I made mistakes, but now I don't ever wanna be alone. I don't really ever feel at home. On my own, in the zone, that's the only way I know. Feeling low, about to blow back up. Here I won't ever let the doubt creep in. Gotta pop a couple more aspirin. I don't think I'll ever let you in. Easier to break it off best friends. I don't really understand myself. I don't really understand, need help. I don't wanna be left on the shelf. Couldn't even hear me if I yelled. It's so cold outside, I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold outside, I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold outside, I'm alone. It's so cold outside, I'm alone. break down. Always feel like I could break now, but I never let it take me to that place now. I won't ever let my thoughts get away now. I got better things to do, picking fate now. I just wanna be the best, call me great now. I don't know if I'm okay or insane now. I remember better days on the playground, hoping I can find my way even when I'm feeling down. I fight, even when I don't know what is right. I'ma pick a side, and I'ma take pride. I will decide my fate, and I will never let them tell me who I am. If you try to shape me, I'll be damned. Planet on the ground is where I stand. Never give up, that was always the plan. It's so cold outside, I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold outside, I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the NEXXTCAR Racing League here on iRacing. Tonight, the NEXXTCAR Truck Series gets things started off for Season 4 at the high banks of the Daytona International Speedway. Season 4, a season that is bringing a lot of changes to the league, changes that will benefit everyone involved. Stages, playoffs, 16 races, all things that will increase the intensity on the track. Matt Tucker added a Truck Series championship to his already impressive NEXXTCAR resume. He won the Cup Series championship in Season 1 and now a Truck Series champion after his win at Phoenix in Season 3. Who is going to be the one to step up and knock him off the throne? 16 races, 34 Truck Series drivers, 1 championship trophy. Who is going to lift the trophy at the end of this season? It's going to be a long season, and it all starts right here, right now. This is the NEXXTCAR Racing League, and this is the World Center of Racing.
It has to happen. Gotta prove myself. It has to happen like this, like this. You're going up against the greatest, and it's gonna get messy. If you wanna try to test me, you're going up against the greatest. Take a swing, you're gonna miss me. Yeah, it's going down in history. I'm the greatest, I'm the greatest, I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest, I'm the greatest, I'm the greatest.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to the NEXXTCAR Racing League here on iRacing. Tonight, the NEXXTCAR Truck Series gets things kicked off for Season 4, a season that is going to bring a ton of changes and challenges to these drivers this season. 16 races, 34 drivers, folks, but only one will get to call themselves a NEXXTCAR champion at the end of it all when we crown our Season 4 champion in 16 weeks down at Homestead, Miami. What a season we are going to have ahead of us here, starting all tonight here at the high banks of the Daytona International Speedway. Like I said, this season is going to bring its fair share of challenges. It's great changes that have been made to this league. This has been one of the most productive off seasons we have ever had in NEXXTCAR. Besides, obviously, the changing from heat over to iRacing, this has been the most productive off season we have ever had. We had a lot to do in 2 weeks, but we are right back at it and bigger and better than ever, folks. You heard me right. 34 Truck Series drivers are going to be battling for that NEXXTCAR Truck Series Championship trophy that is sent to the champion at the end of each and every season. There is a lot at stake this season, folks. Not just bragging rights, but we do hand out actual trophies. So these drivers, they know it. Everyone new to the league, they all know it. Everyone has bragged about how we're one of the only leagues to hand out physical trophies after each season, and that is what helped bring in the numbers that we have this season, folks. 34 Truck Series drivers, 30 Next Gen Cup Series drivers on Monday night, so tomorrow night. Another big change. You might be looking at the clock, folks, and thinking, why is the NEXXTCAR Racing League racing already? Well, guess what, folks? We listened to the drivers. Several of them wanted the time change moved up. We listened to our drivers, folks, and we have went ahead and we have changed the start time. So now, instead of practice starting at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Eastern, it now starts at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Qualifying, you're seeing it. It just swapped over right now at 8:20 p.m. Eastern, and then gridding at 8:30 p.m. Eastern versus 9 p.m. So a lot of changes have been made. Everything has been moved up 40 minutes. We started gridding previous 3 seasons at 9:10 p.m. Eastern. Well, now it's gridding at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. You know, we listened to our drivers. They said it's pretty hard to race until 11 p.m. and turn around and get up Monday morning to go to work. We listened to them. We all compromised. We came up with 8:30 as the gridding time, and that is why the NEXXTCAR Racing League is in its new time slot. But hey, new time, same old league. It is time to get things started here in Season 4. Like I said, this was the most productive off season we have ever had in the NEXXTCAR Racing League. Basically everything has undergone major changes. The league, the playoff format. Folks, playoffs are back in the NEXXTCAR Racing League. 16 race season, 10 of which are the regular season, and then 6 playoff races. We'll get into that in a little bit when we talk about our schedule, but major changes with the schedule. Playoffs are back. Stage racing. We played with it a little bit at the end, towards the end of last season. We played with it there in the playoffs, but now it is official. Stage racing is here. The top 10 finishers are going to be awarded points at the end of the stages, and obviously each stage break will vary based on what track we're at and everything, so a lot of different changes being made here to the NEXXTCAR Racing League, and like I said, changes for the better of the league. But folks, let's jump into it here and let's check out your Season 4 schedule for your NEXXTCAR Truck Series. We'll start off with the Truck Series here, and let's go ahead and let's check out the schedule. Like I said, this is a 16-race schedule, but the first 10 races are the regular season, and the last 6 is your NEXXTCAR playoffs. Everything getting started this week at Daytona International Speedway for the Truck Series. 100 laps tonight. Your stage break is going to be on lap 40. Then we're heading to Las Vegas, Rockingham, Pocono, the one road course of the season in week 5 at Road America. And then the Charlotte Motor Speedway, picking it back up in week 6. North Wilkesboro in the 7th week. Then we're going back Super Speedway Racing in week 8 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Week 9, Iowa Speedway, and then ending the regular season off with a draft track, Michigan, in week 10. And then it all kicks off with the playoffs at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the oval, not the roval, not doing the road course. It's the oval. And then week 13 is Darlington. I'm sorry, excuse me, week 12 is Darlington. Week 13 is Kansas. Week 14, so that is the first round. Those top 3 races are the first round of the playoffs. We're starting off with 16 drivers. You win, you're in. 16 drivers make the playoffs. And then round number 2 drops down to 8. So we're cutting that 16 field in half, going down to 8 for Auto Club and Dover. Those are your 2 races in the round number 2 of the NEXXTCAR playoffs. And then it's championship round, baby. The top 4, your championship 4, go to Homestead, Miami to end it all in week 16. Man, we have got a lot of great racing ahead of us this season. We listened to the drivers. They didn't like the short track racing. They didn't like all the road courses. So when I made this schedule, I focused on the 1.5 mile tracks, very different 1.5 mile tracks from each other. Not a whole lot of cookie cutter tracks, but we have got a lot of great races and tracks that are going to give us some great racing ahead of us. So that's your Truck Series side. You can see everything there. Your defending series champion up there in the top, Matt Tucker in at 25. He's going to have a lot of people gunning for him this season. Now, on the flip side of things, on Monday nights, let's check out your Cup Series schedule. Almost identical, but a couple different races are different. Obviously, getting things kicked off at Daytona. And then Vegas, Rockingham, Pocono. And then the first difference is right there in week 5. The trucks are going to Road America. Cup Series, they're going to Watkins Glen. And then picking it back up at Charlotte, North Wilkesboro in week 8. Instead of going to Atlanta Motor Speedway like the Truck Series is. The Next Gen Cup cars, they're going to Talladega. And then New Hampshire instead of Iowa in week 9. And then week 10, the regular season is coming to an end there in Michigan. And then picking it back up in the playoffs. Week 11, Indy. Week 12, Darlington. Week 13, Kansas. Same exact thing with the Truck Series. Your top 16 drivers in a win and in playoff situation, they're in a playoff. So that's your first round. Round 2, Auto Club, Dover. And then crowning your champion there in week 16 down at Homestead, Miami. So, guys, these drivers have got a long season, some great tracks, and hopefully some great racing ahead of us here in season 4. I can't believe we're already in the 4th season of the NEXXTCAR Racing League here on iRacing. But let's go ahead and let's check out your drivers list for season 4. A lot of new names on this drivers list, folks, that a lot of people, you guys probably aren't going to know. But hey, that's the best thing about the new season right there is your drivers list. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of big detail because we don't exactly have a lot of time before we do head to the gridding. But your Fifth Gear Racing, led by Nick Trudeau, you got their drivers. And then the biggest change to the drivers list is you can see it down there in the bottom right corner. Mopowa Motorsports, now led by Dylan Tibbetts. That is the 6th and newest team to the NEXXTCAR Racing League. Dylan said he wanted to be a captain. We all decided he'd make a great captain. He got his first win ever on iRacing last season, and now he is your 6th team captain here in the NEXXTCAR Racing League. But we're going to leave it up there for just a little longer, just so you guys can see who is on each team. And then we are going to get things kicked off here for Season 4. But a lot of names on this list that are new to the NEXXTCAR Racing League, which is great, especially when you look at Fifth Gear Racing team captain Nicholas Trudeau. The only person on that team that is a NEXXTCAR veteran, Stephen Henning. He was traded to Nick from David Chandler's team. Nick, they agreed to a trade, so obviously Nick picked up Henning, and he is the only NEXXTCAR veteran on Nick's team. So a lot of new names, folks, and that could mean for some really great things for the NEXXTCAR Racing League. But that is your Season 4's drivers list, folks. Let's go ahead and let's check out your race information for tonight. Week 1 here at Daytona International Speedway for Season 4. For the season kickoff 250, presented by HVAC Designs, Owen Ceramic Coating and Detailing, and W Energy at the 2.5-mile track of Daytona International Speedway here at Daytona Beach, Florida, at the World Center of Racing. It's Daytona, baby. It's fast. It's narrow. Tonight is going to be an interesting one. You can see it right there in the bottom center. Stage break, lap 40. So lap 40 will be your stage break for tonight's race, folks. These drivers, they know what's at stake. The top 10 drivers at the end of the stage on lap 40 will receive 10 points. Just like IRL NASCAR, the top 10 in the stage, well, they get the stage points. So we are no different here tonight. 74-degree temperature with a track temp of 76. So a little warmer, but 10-mile-an-hour wind out of the southeast. So that is going to be very interesting in seeing just how that affects these trucks down these long back straightaways and through the tri-oval. But folks, it is almost gridding time here in the NEXXTCAR Racing League here for the first race of Season 4. These drivers are 40 seconds away from gridding for the first time in Season 4. Let's go ahead and let's get your tower up for tonight's race. Let's see who is leading the way, and it is going to be Austin Schultz in first. What a lap he put down with a 52.35. And then a rookie, Hunter Manley, in second. Robert Babcock making his return to the NEXXTCAR Racing League in third. David Smith fourth. And Christopher Pendell, another rookie to NEXXTCAR, rounding out your top 5. Like I said, folks, these are going to have a lot of names that you're not going to be used to seeing, but they are looking to make themselves a NEXXTCAR family known name. But let's go ahead and hold on. Our headset just powered off. Give me 1 second. Not sure exactly why it just powered off, but all right, there we go. It is back up. So folks, let's go ahead and let's put away that. Let's check out your starting grid for tonight. Austin Schultz starting the season off perfectly with the pole here tonight. Then you see Hunter Manley in second. Row number 2 is going to go to the way of Robert Babcock and David Smith. Row number 3 is going to go to Christopher Pendell and Brandon Dunford. Colin Bollinger and Alberto Abar make up your 4th row. Row number 5 is going to go to the way to Cole Larson and Cedric Ingram, another rookie to NEXXTCAR. 11th, Dylan Tibbetts. 12th, Dustin Bloodworth. 13th, Matthew Tucker, your defending series champion. 14th is going to go to Bradley Wright. 15th, Steve Bocock. 16th, Zach Roethlisberger. 17th, your Cup Series defending champion, Peyton Tullock. 18th is going to go to Stephen Henning. 19th is Nicholas Don Francisco with 20th, J.D. Larson. 21st is going to go to Christopher Thomas, with 22nd going to David Chandler. Camden Jester, 23rd. Owen Bridges making his return to NEXXTCAR in 24th, with Cole Owens in 25th. Nicholas Trudeau in 26th. Obviously, we're not racing, so Gary Wright will be moved up to the 27th position. Several of these guys, Matthew Tucker, Andrew Bolander, several others, not able to make the race tonight. Not able to make the race tonight. They did go to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Cup Series race today, so obviously they were not quite able to get home in time for that. So it is getting ready to get started here in Daytona, folks. You can see it right there once again, your stage break on lap 40 in week 1 here at the Daytona International Speedway. Waiting for that iRacing Chevy Silverado pace truck to lead the field off of pit road, and we will jump down there and see if we can't interview your pole sitter, Austin Schultz. Austin Schultz, it's Ronnie in the booth. You got me, buddy?
I do, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great, brother. First race of the season, you're going to grab the pole. How are you going to get it done tonight and take that number 56 Chevy to victory lane?
Survive the carnage.
Absolutely, buddy. Well, best of luck to you and all the other drivers out there, and let's have a good race to start season 4. All right, folks, you heard it from the pole sitter, Austin Schultz. That's a tall task ahead of him tonight. He said the way to victory lane is going to be surviving the carnage. Well, we know Daytona International Speedway. The biggest thing at Daytona, the biggest obstacle, is what we know as the big one. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of when and where. Look at the field. 27 NEXXTCAR Truck Series trucks making their way around the 2.5-mile track of Daytona International Speedway for the first time tonight behind that pace truck. Absolutely beautiful sight watching all 27 trucks make their way towards that Geico restart zone for the first time tonight. The Chevy Silverado pace truck looking to make that hard left onto pit road. The field in the control of the flagman's hand. And for the first time in season 4, we are underway here at Daytona. Austin Schultz up through the gears he goes with Hunter Manley on his outside. Side by side, bumper to bumper behind him. That inside line got a much better restart. Robert Babcock now all over the back bumper of the 56. Down through turns 1 and 2 for the first time tonight. The 94, Christopher Pendell is going to push up a little bit. But here comes that outside line powering back. Hunter Manley in the 3, leading the charge on that high line. Robert Babcock staying hooked to the back bumper of Austin Schultz in the 56. Down the backstretch they go for the first time tonight. Matt Tucker, you see him right there. Working his way, him and Peyton Tulloch working together, falling back a little bit to the back of the pack. But here they come out of turn number 4 for the first time tonight. Big move to the inside, but here comes Schultz leading the field back to the line for the first time tonight. Caution's going to fly for the first time as well. We are going to be under caution here on lap number 2. It's looking like it's going to be Cedric Ingram involved in this one of your NEXXTCAR Truck Series rookies. Let's back it up and see what exactly happened with that 19 truck. He's on the outside of the 93 there. On the outside of the 93, just kind of comes down a little bit there. Let's see if we can't get a better angle here. Yeah, the 19 just kind of comes down right there trying to side draft, and then mayhem behind him. But carnage on lap number 2 here of Daytona. And another big change for this season, folks. No matter what track we are at, whether it's a super speedway or a short track, these drivers only have one fast repair. That is it. Previously, it has been 2 fast repairs at super speedways. But this season, we decided, hey, let's just do 1 fast repair for all tracks. And so that is going to be killer for a couple of these trucks already involved and the carnage here on lap number 1. You heard it from our pole sitter, Austin Schultz. He said the biggest thing that he's going to have to do tonight is avoid the carnage. Well, that's easy to do when you're out there in front of it. So Austin Schultz is going to continue to lead the way tonight here at Daytona. Let's see if there's any takers here on lap number 4 here of coming to pit road. It's looking like everybody's going to be staying out. You're going to have 1 taker into 3. That's going to be Hunter Manley working his way onto pit road for the first time tonight. And then a couple people out back that were out back are going to come down pit road as well and maybe top off on some fuel. Dustin Bloodworth, Steve Bocock, Cedric Ingram coming to pit road after just being involved in that incident. Going to come down and try to get some damage fixed. You can see the 51 pulling away. The 12's pulling away as well. Matt Tucker's going to come down. But Austin Schultz is going to continue to lead the way here around Daytona. But folks, we are going to step away here for a quick break here on lap number 5. So don't go anywhere, folks, because we are going to be right back to bring you more of the action here from Daytona International Speedway. Don't go anywhere because it's going to be a good one.
'Cause you're the only refuge now for every mother, every child, every brother caught in the crossfire. Faith still needs a gun. Whose ammunition justifies the wrong? And I can't see from the backseat, so I'm asking from above. Can I trust what I'm given, even when it cuts? So heaven, if you sent us down, so we can build a playground for the sinners to play as saints. You'd be so proud of what we made. I hope you got some beds around, 'cause you're the only refuge now for every mother and every child, every brother that's caught in the crossfire.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left.
The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever.
All right, folks, the lights are off on that Chevy Silverado pace truck. We are getting ready to go back racing this time. Five laps down, 95 to go here around this 2.5 mile track of Daytona International Speedway, the world center of racing, where NASCAR got its start. Well, NEXXTCAR is also getting its start for season 4 right here, right now. The pace truck hooking that hard left, back onto pit road. Control of the field in Schultz's hand. Green flag's going to be back out in the air here on lap number 5. Up through the gears they go. Schultz clearing Babcock on the outside. Bollinger coming on that inside. Getting the big draft off of the 56. Now he's going to have Cole Larson coming back up, but here comes that outside line right back at him with Babcock leading the charge. Schultz down under the apron. Strategy call by Schultz, dropping to the back. Very interesting call right there. I'm not sure if I agree with that, because after what just transpired in the back of the field, now he's putting himself really in danger's way here in this one here on lap number 6. But back out front, Robert Babcock is going to lead the field out of turn number 4. David Smith in the new number, and that number 48. Is he going to get back up to Babcock? He is not. Robert Babcock, in his return to the NEXXTCAR Racing League, is going to lead the field back to lap number 7. Side by side through the first 5-7 rows here of the Truck Series through turns 1 and 2. Colin Bollinger, second car on that inside line, possibly looking. Nope, he decided not to. I thought he was going to look to the inside there, but decided to think better of it. But now, David Smith leading the charge on that high line. He is going to lead the field back into turns 3 and 4 with the 9 of Brandon Dunford returning to the Truck Series all over his back bumper now with the HVAC Motorsports team. And then right behind him, Dylan Tibbetts, your newest captain of the NEXXTCAR Racing League in that 45. Now all over the back bumper of Dunford. Back at the tri-oval, here they come side by side. Now Smith, does he jump down in front of Babcock? Does he decide to stay up top? He's going to decide to stay up top working with Dunford. He's also got Tibbetts right behind him. And then the 11 of Cole Owens, he's working his way back up there into the 7th position. But let's go ahead and talk about the guy in 9th real quick. Steve Bocock looking to try to change his ways of the NEXXTCAR Super Speedway Racing. He has always had himself a fast truck when it comes to super speedway racing, but luck has not fallen on his side through his career in iRacing when it comes to super speedway racing. So looking to hopefully put that behind him. Alberto Abar having a strong run as well. He is he is not your biggest mover. Right now, your biggest mover is Cole Owens in that number 11 truck on that high line, the 4th truck on that high line. Now, looking to the outside. Now going to possibly be put in a 3-wide situation. Steve Bocock decided not to. Heads up move by Steve. Let him come back down and live to see another lap. Big heads up move there by Steve, and great job by Cole Owens keeping it out of the wall and not coming back down the track into everybody else. So huge heads up move on multiple people there. David Smith continuing to lead the charge on that high line. You can see the 11 of Cole Owens poking that nose out a little more there through the corners. You got to wonder, is that 11 truck starting to maybe overheat a little bit? Is that going to be a problem these guys are going to have to deal with here as they come to complete lap number 9 heading into lap number 10? You're going to be pushing and shoving on that guy in front of you. You got to watch those water temps. You got to make sure that engine temperature does not get too high. You got to make sure that you give them a little bit of a gap, get some air into that engine, cool it down, or like you see Owens doing, sticking your nose out just ever so slightly from behind the guy, from behind the guy in front of you. get some air into that radiator, cool that engine down to where you don't overheat it, and that's what you see them doing there on the entrances into these corners where you don't want to push. You don't want to push that car in front of you, so that's the perfect opportunity to step out of line, cool that engine down, as you see Dunford looking to the middle there. But yeah, that's the best way to cool down the engine and make sure you don't overheat, just like the last time we were at a super speedway when Peyton Tulloch maybe had a truck to beat, but was pushing a little too aggressively and blew his engine in front of the entire field. So don't want to do that again. But right now, David Smith is going to lead these guys back to lap 10. Remember, stage break is on lap 40. So these guys still a long way to go until that stage break. The newest update to SDK Gaming brought us something that is absolutely fantastic. And we're going to show it off here just real quick while these guys are still running side by side. This is, okay, it's going to cut it off a little bit, but this is your pit strategy length. Since the last pitted, so you can see everyone in the top 8 has stayed out all 11 laps. And then you can see the yellow for Bocock. You know, he pitted back on lap 3, now 8 laps under this pit strategy. So awesome update to SDK Gaming. We can see just what exactly the last time these guys pitted and everything. And you can also see just how many positions these guys have gained. You can see Owens plus 18 positions. So awesome update for SDK Gaming to give us this opportunity to see just when the last time these guys pitted and everything. And it also shows you their pit time as well. So Bocock had a 6.6 second pit stop. So this is an absolutely fantastic update to SDK Gaming. It also tells you how long they were on the pit lane, and just absolutely fantastic, and tells you what lap these guys pitted on. So Peyton Tulloch, you see him right there, came in on lap 3 and then came back in on lap 4. So definitely a fantastic update for SDK Gaming. Sorry, just wanted to show that off real quick because it is going to change the way we do our booth broadcasts. And right here in week number 1, these drivers already putting a little bit of strategy to things. But Babcock and Smith continue. Oh, big move by Tibbetts to get down to that low line. Realized that there was not going to be that big of a push on the high line. There was a big gap between himself and Cole Owens. Decided to drop it down to the inside line. Now behind the 11 of Bollinger, as we do have 2 number 11s, but you will see Cole Owens is the 0-11. He is that third truck on the outside line. Cole Owens in the pink is the number 0-11. While Bollinger, Colin Bollinger that is the Toyota number 11. But Tibbetts with a big move to that inside line. How is it going to pay off for him? I think he expected that outside line to fall back a little more than it has, but so far it's kind of paying off a little bit. But beautiful shot at all 28 NEXXTCAR trucks coming down that backstretch. Zachary Brooks going to make his way to the track as well. 8 laps down, but hey, man, it's super speedway racing. We have a couple laps. You might just find yourself back on that lead lap. And Camden Jester, you can see him also 2 laps down. He was involved in that first incident, that NOS Energy number 21 Chevy. You can see it right there, 2 laps down, but hey, not out of it. This is super speedway racing. Like I said, anything can happen. Cautions can happen anywhere. Get a couple to fall your way, and you are right back in this thing. But Babcock, Smith, Dunford, Bollinger, and Owens continue to lead the way here at Daytona. That outside line has less trucks, but holding their ground with a big charge. Now to the inside goes Brandon Dunford. He's going to abandon Smith, who he's been pushing. Oh, Owens was not clear. He comes down in front of Babcock. Caution's going to fly for the second time tonight. And this is your big one. Major carnage through turns 3 and 4. Caution now just flying for the second time tonight. Owens not quite clear when dropping to that inside line. You saw it firsthand, but let's back it up and let's Let's dissect what exactly just happened. Dunford, obviously very clear when he decided to make that move. But in super speedway racing, I'm going to defend Owens here a little bit. I'm going to, not at all what I wanted to do. There we go. I'm going to defend him. Watch Owens, that pink number 11, the third truck on that outside line. I'm going to defend him here a little bit because when Dunford makes that move, super speedway racing, that pulls the air down with him. So right there, if he would have dropped when Dunford did, he was clear. But then Babcock got the big run with off the draft of Dunford, and that is what, if he would have dropped when Dunford did, he would have been all right. But decided to stay out there just a little longer, and that is what is going to bring him around for your second caution of the night. But let's jump inside the cockpit of Robert Babcock here. Right there, Dunford makes the move. Owens actually was not clear. And then right here, thinks maybe he is, and just inches from being clear. Just inches from being clear, but we are going to be under caution for the second time tonight. Everybody coming down pit road this time. Pit road, now the busiest place in Daytona Beach, Florida. Dunford gonna lead the field. Bocock, big pit stop for Steve. Steve is now gonna gain a couple positions. What a pit stop for Steve Bocock in the 12. Now up into the second position in that number 12. Let's check out your pit stop time on Steve Bocock. There we go. All right, so Steve Bocock's pit time, a 6.6 second pit stop. So only taking gas on that one. Ingram, a 14.7. David Chandler in fourth. Oh, I'm sorry, it hasn't calculated this pit stop yet. I'm sorry. Once everyone's off the pit road and stuff, I'm sure it'll calculate it. So let's go ahead and hide that here for a second. But Brandon Dunford is going to take the lead here at Daytona after carnage right behind him heading into turn number 3 on lap 17. What a top 10 we have after that pit stop, huh? Dunford, Bocock, then a rookie to NEXXTCAR, Cedric Ingram, Chandler, J.D. Larson, Alberto Ebar, Nicholas Trudeau working his way up there, Owen Bridges in his return to NEXXTCAR, Gary Wright, Bridges coming back down pit road, but Gary Wright, a rookie to NEXXTCAR, up into 8th. And then Zachary Roethlisberger in 9th, and Austin Schultz, the driver who led a lot of the opening laps here in this one, in 10th. Remember, he decided to drop out of the lead and drop to the back, and it might just work out for him here in that number 56. Then the other Wright in 11th, that's Bradley Wright. I don't believe there's any relation to them, but we have got several guys that are related to each other. Tomorrow night in the Cup Series, we're going to have the Hughes family racing. We've got 3 generations of Hugheses, and then there's a couple other relatives that are going to be racing as well. So awesome to see these families coming into NEXXTCAR. Absolutely love it. And obviously it all started with the Larson family. Father JD and then son Cole Larson. They started the family trend of the NEXXTCAR Racing League, and now we are up to several different generations of families in NEXXTCAR. But folks, you see it. The lights are off on that Chevy Silverado pace truck. We are getting ready to go back racing here on lap 19 of 100. Just shy of the halfway point of stage number 1. Remember, that stage break is on lap 40. Dunford, Bocock, row number 1. Ingram, Chandler, row number 2. JD Larson, A-Bar, make up row number 3. Where is the big push is going to come from on this restart? Now, not sure who that is getting way down on that apron. Maybe coming to pit road, deciding not to. We're going back racing. Green flag's back in the air. Steve Bocock did not get a great launch, but Dunford did. But now, if you're Dunford, you are a sitting duck. With a big lead like this, where does Bocock, where does the 19 of Ingram go? Bocock trying to get the big run off that high line. Big push from David Chandler. He's going to get to the outside of the 9 of Dunford. Dunford now receiving the big push from Ingram. Here comes Larson, JD Larson that is. Here comes Alberto Abar with Nicholas Trudeau right in front of him. Steve Bocock is going to work his way to the front here at Daytona. Now, abandoning that outside, going to that inside line. Steve Bocock drops to the bottom in front of the 9. We talked about it. Steve Bocock, one of the best in the business when it comes to super speedway racing, but has not had luck on his side at the end of things in super speedway racing. But David Chandler's going to steal that lap away. Chandler leads him back to lap number 20. Now Chandler drops down in front of Steve Bocock. What does Nick Trudeau do? Getting a big push for Alberto Abar. The 93, that is going to be Zach Roethlisberger. It's on the ticker showing 25, but he's the number 93 truck. But now, Trudeau going to clear the field. Alberto tries to slide down in front of David. David says no, sends it back up to the middle. Now Alberto Abar stuck in no man's land in the middle. It's going to get tight out of 4. Everybody keeps it going straight. Man, that was tight for Alberto. Now Steve Bocock jumps up there to try to help his teammate. Now to the outside. Big run up there. Dead even with Trudeau heading down into turn number 1. Dead even heading into turn number 1. Bocock, Roethlisberger outside. Trudeau, Chandler inside. Here comes that outside line. Owens trying to push. Schultz back up there. Now, bumper to bumper. The first 6 trucks on that high line. Now, Steve Bocock goes back to the front at Daytona, heading down the backstretch. Roethlisberger drops in front of Nick Trudeau, who cuts him a break. Bocock drops down with them. Big break that Nick Trudeau just gave to Roethlisberger. Beautiful sight of all 28 trucks out of turn number 3 right there. I'm sorry, turn number 4, but Bocock is now going to lead his first lap of the race on lap number 21. Now Roethlisberger, what does he do? Here comes Schultz. Big push from his teammate Cole Owens, who has their team captain, Matthew Tucker, right behind him. Steve Bocock continuing to lead the charge on the inside with Austin Schultz on the outside with 3 of his teammates lined up perfectly behind him. One of them being his team captain at the Blue Collar Racing League, Matt Tucker, the 3rd truck in line. Your defending Truck Series champion would love nothing else than to start season 4 off the right way, heading to victory lane at the most prestigious track in NASCAR. Now, Bocock liking what he's seeing out back. That outside line falling apart. That's exactly what you love to see while leading that inside charge. Now, back up through the outside they come. Owen Bridges in his return to the NEXXTCAR in that W Energy Ford F-150, trying to work his way back up inside the top 10. Right now running around plus 12 positions in that 12th position. But out front, Steve Bocock continues to lead the first 4 trucks in a single file line. Owens still shoving the back bumper of Schultz down this backstretch. Let's jump inside the cockpit here of Cool Owens as they give the big pushes to Schultz down the backstretch. And now Dunford jumps up to that high line. Now he's leading the charge. Now we're inside Schultz's cockpit. Big push to the 9 out of turn number 4. Bocock not going to be able to defend against it, but Bocock's going to lead him back to the line here. Dunford now leading the charge on that high line. You can see it, Schultz 181 mile an hour through turns 1 and 2, holding a steady wheel on this high line, pushing, giving Dunford everything he can. Look at the run these two got off that high line. That outside line now, the way around Daytona, up to 190 mile an hour heading into turn number 3. Owens, a little ways back, a car length off the back bumper of the 56 of Schultz. Bocock looking to try to continue to lead here. This one's going to go to himself as they head back to start lap number 26 of 100. Remember, lap 40 is your stage break tonight. How about Zach Roethlisberger? Let's talk about him real quick in that number 93 truck. It's going to show up as a 25 from Midland, Michigan. A rookie in the NEXXTCAR Truck Series up here, messing around with the veterans of NEXXTCAR. Gotta love it when a rookie comes in, and the round is going to go to 56 of Schultz in front of Bocock. Caution is going to fly once again, and another major implications for several front runners here at Daytona through turns 3 and 4. David Chandler, major damage to the 1. Schultz, look at the parking lot in turns 3 and 4. An absolute parking lot in 3 and 4. Let's back it up and see what exactly happened. Alberto Ebar, big damage on that number 13 Toyota. Somehow we got on Alberto. Give me a second. There we go. Now, once again, was it a move that was not clear? Let's back it up. That's an interesting one right there. I think maybe Roethlisberger just kind of gave him a push to the back of Bocock that Bocock was not exactly expecting. Watch the 12 in the black truck behind him. The 12 kind of comes up a little bit just as he's coming down. So let's watch Bocock's point of view here. Let's see if we can't get on that drone here. There we go. All right, so the 93 of Roethlisberger's all over his back bumper, pushing him down the backstretch. Watch the center line there. The 56 is going to come down a little bit. Bocock kind of misses the bottom of the corner. I think Schultz expected him to be a little lower, as Bocock obviously not down on that yellow line like I think he expected Schultz to be, but nobody was. I mean, you watch all the way behind. I mean, look at everybody behind Steve. You know, the 25, 93, sorry, he's not down on that yellow apron. Neither is Nick. Nick was a little lower, but really nobody was down on that apron like I think they all expected him to be on that high line. So just expecting someone to be where they weren't is going to bring out your third caution of the night. 12 laps from your stage break on lap 40. But folks, we're going to step away here once again for another intermission here from Daytona International Speedway and the NEXXTCAR Truck Series. It's getting good. We're 12 laps away from the stage break. Don't go anywhere, folks, because things are just now getting heated.
I could say it out loud.
so bright, I feel so gifted, I feel so high, I feel so lifted. By my side is where you're sitting, in my life is where you fit in. I feel so bright, I feel so gifted, I feel so high, I feel so lifted. By my side is where you're sitting, in my life is where you fit in. I never thought that I would get this far. I wanna drive around in the nice cars. I wanna forget about my scars and just have a good night. I smoke something down, I drink something down. I'm feeling it now, I'm feeling it now. I could say it out loud. When I see you, my heart goes down, 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 down. I could say it out loud. Down, 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 down. Say it out loud. Down, 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 down. Say it out loud. Down,
All right, folks, welcome back here to Daytona International Speedway for race number 1 here of the NEXXTCAR Truck Series here in Season 4. Couple of big crashes here so far tonight, but hey, everyone's still rolling, and yeah, let's get back to it here, folks. So far in this one, coming to start lap 30 when the green flag drops, these guys 10 laps away from your first stage break. Right now, Zach Roethlisberger in the 93 sitting on pit road. Hard break for that 93 truck. He was having himself a pretty solid run, but now sitting out of this one, waiting to get the damage fixed. You see him right there in 27th on pit road, but the pace truck hooking that hard left. Dunford gonna lead the field back to the Geico restart zone. Green flag's gonna be back out in the air. Oh, the 18 has dropped and changed his lanes. That's J.D. Larson. J.D. Larson may have just switched his lanes right into a penalty here to start this one here on lap 30. Remember, it's in the rule book. You are not allowed to switch lanes until after crossing the start-finish line. J.D. Larson did not drop immediately to that bottom lane. Now, gonna have to wait and see what these drivers, or I'm sorry, the race control decide to do with J.D. Larson. So far, nothing has been handed out that we are hearing of. Christopher Thomas, what a run he is having so far in that number 5 Chevy Silverado. Working that bad boy up there into the 3rd place. And someone else that has been working their way up, plus 12 positions. Let's talk about him. Stephen Henning in the number 27, as he was just up there inside the top 5 from Saskatchewan. Remember, last season, he thought he was done in NEXXTCAR. He was not going to be returning. But now, back out there on the track for Season 4 in that W Energy Shirley Service Albright Trucking Chevy Silverado. Absolutely great-looking truck. Love to see him back out there. Welcome back to NEXXTCAR, Steven. And definitely always a threat when it comes to super speedway racing and road courses. So, but Robert Babcock leading the charge on that high line here, 8 laps away from your first stage break. Who's going to be your first stage break winner? This is going to be interesting. Everybody wants to say, hey, I won that first stage. Now, big push from J.D. Larson to the back of the 9 of Dunford, but the 3 of Manley's going to be pushing the 34 of Babcock right back to the front. Babcock going to be leading the charge on that high line. He's going to clear Dunford, but now Dunford coming right back on that inside line. Dunford, big pushes from Larson. who's got Thomas right behind him. Now Thomas is going to have a big run on these guys coming out of turn number 4. You see JD get a little squirrely right there. Babcock going to lead on back to lap 33. Roethlisberger officially out of this one here on lap 33. You see him right there. That is your first retirement from tonight's race. 27 trucks out on that track right now, and all 27 still a shot to victory lane here in this one. Zachary Brooks is 7 laps down, but hey, that is nothing when it comes to super speedway racing. Camden Jester, he's still 2 laps down in this one, not able to take advantage of these cautions to get a couple of his laps back. Now, JD Larson looking to the inside of Dunford, had to back out of it. Remember that the double yellow line is out of bounds here, so you cannot advance your position by going underneath that double yellow line. You must give that position up, and if you don't, then, well, you got to serve a drive-through penalty, and that is the last thing you want to do at a super speedway because, yeah, you might go down a lap coming to pit road, but guess what? You also lost the draft of the main pack, and you are going to end up going several laps down by the end of this one. But Babcock now going to really clear that inside line. Does he stay outside? Yes, he does. Manley stays committed. Now, Dunford right back on that inside line with Larson. Owens right behind Thomas, coming out of turn number 4. 3 wide through the trial. Well, that's going to get tight with Dylan Tibbetts. They keep it going straight. He's on the inside of Cole Owens, his teammate. Definitely very interesting right there. Now, Owens is going to back off, let his new team captain jump up in front of him. That got tight through the tri-oval at Daytona. You can go 3 wide, but you saw just how tight it can get, and especially through that tri-oval. But these guys, it's starting to ramp up here. Points on the line, the stage break, this time by just 5 laps away. So these guys know what's on the line. These points, valuable for sure. So these guys know that. They're going to be jostling for position. The aggressiveness is going to ramp up because, yeah, it might be just 1 point. But you ask Peyton to look. Points are valuable. He lost the first Truck Series championship by 1 point to Matthew Erickson, who is not out there tonight, unable to make tonight's race, but he'll be back next week. So you ask people like Peyton to look just how important points are. Well, points are everything, and these guys know that that is exactly what it can come down to after Homestead, Miami. 1 point can make all the difference. But Brandon Dunford now going to really clear that outside line. J.D. Larson not able to quite clear Babcock. Now, what do? Here comes Christopher Thomas with a big run out of turn number 4 with Cole Owens all over his back bumper. Owens got a little squirrely coming out of turn number 4. That's going to allow that outside line being led by Robert Babcock and Manley to work their way back up there. Side draft a little bit. You know, we saw a little bit of side drafting going wrong earlier on in the race, and now not a whole lot of side drafting happening up front. But now a big gap between Babcock, or I'm sorry, not Babcock, but Larson in the 18 and Thomas. You can see just how squirrely these trucks are getting out of turn number 2. I wonder, what is the winds at? The winds still 10 mile an hour, so that the winds definitely could start be playing a little bit of a issue here and just how these trucks are handling. Caution is out once again, just 3 laps from your stage break. Gary Wright, a rookie in NEXXTCAR, involved in this one. Caution is out for the 4th time tonight, just 3 laps away from your stage break. Let's see what exactly happened here. Zachary Brooks on his outside. Oh, the 94 got sideways. He has to check up, comes up the track, and right around into Zachary Brooks he goes. Not exactly sure what happened to the 94 here. The 94 rookie, Christopher Pendell. Like I said, not exactly sure what transpired with him, but that got him all out of whack. David Chandler, oh, right there. David Chandler with the push going into the corner. Definitely not what you want to do. Absolutely not what you want to do. You never want to push going into the corners. Never. Waiting to see confirmation on whether or not that will be the stage break. All right, folks, we have got confirmation that that will officially be the end of stage number 1, your one stage break tonight, and it is going to go to the way of Brandon Dunford in the number 9 and from Milton, Florida. So Brandon Dunford is going to get the first stage break win of the NEXXTCAR history. So he will be receiving 10 bonus points for that stage win. Remember, the top 10 will receive the stage break points. So Brandon Dunford is going to grab up 10 playoff points here at Daytona. From Milton, Florida, it's got to feel good to get it done here at his home track. But hey, that's just the first stint, folks. We have got a lot of racing ahead of us here in this one. Going back racing on lap number 41 of 100, just shy of the halfway point tonight. Now, your top leaders, Robert Babcock, David Smith, Dylan Tibbetts, J.D. Larson, who apparently did not receive a penalty for that early lane switch, Brandon Dunford, Christopher Thomas, Owen Bridges, Alberto Ebar, Cedric Ingram, and Cole Owens, making up your first 5 rows after this stage break restart. Granted, yes, it's called the stage break, but it was brought out by a caution. Sorry, it was brought out by that caution, so we officially did not make it to the stage break, but it was called because we were so close. Obviously, we're going back racing here on lap 41, so that is that did make up your stage break there. But 4 cautions so far tonight. Honestly, not that bad. Previous seasons, the Super Speedway racings have not been the greatest to NEXXTCAR Racing. Whether it's the Truck Series or Cup Series, it has definitely provided its challenges. But so far tonight, knock on wood, it has been a great race to this point. But here we are. The stage break is over, folks. These drivers focusing on the next 60 laps ahead. We are going back racing this time. Green flag back in the air. Robert Babcock clears the field. David Smith drops down in front of him. That's going to allow J.D. Larson to now lead the charge on that high line. Big pushes from the 5. Here comes Alberto Abar to assist. Big pushes from Christopher Thomas in the 5. Now both of them dropping down, leaving Alberto Abar abandoned on that high line. Now, no help for Alberto. Larson comes back up to assist Alberto. Block him a little bit. Where does Owens go? Looking to the outside maybe. Gonna look for a 3-wide situation. Now decides to jump back in behind the 13. Now, what does Larson do out front? Here comes Alberto. Hard push to the outside. J.D. Larson leads the field back to the line that time. Now Alberto Abar looking for the big push from Owens. Cole Owens, that is, in the 11 behind him. Owens going to push up a little bit, and that's going to hurt that outside line momentum. Christopher Thomas with the big pushes to J.D. Larson. Thomas already shown. Whoa! Save it! It's going to take us a little bit to realize whose number is who. Normally, that would be Don Francisco, and it is Don Francisco back there. No, Don Francisco's now in the 24. I'm sorry, I'm so used to him being in that the Napa Chevy. But, yeah, a bunch of squirrely trucks out back trying to dip and dive, form their way out back. Who is in that? We need to figure that out, though, before... He's back there running with Manley. Oh, it's Nick. Nick is now in the the Napa Chevy. Okay. So him and Don Francisco swapped sponsors for this season. Now Nick is sponsored by Napa. All right. But back out front, J.D. Larson leading the way over Christopher Thomas, and Alberto Abar, through all of that, is going to work his way down to the bottom line there. Third truck in the U.S. Army Toyota on that inside line. Now David Smith. Oh! Big push. Maybe gone wrong. J.D. Larson. Big save. No. Around's going to go the 48 of David Smith. Tibbetts comes back across the track. Caution's going to fly once again. He had it missed. And Dylan Tibbetts came back across the track. Your caution going to fly for the 5th time tonight. Another big push in the corner from Christopher Thomas. Right there, just not lined up with the 18. Got him a little squirrely. Definitely not liking that camera. SDK also updated their cameras, and yeah, they're great, but they're kind of in the wrong place at they're in the right place at the wrong time. I'll put it that way. Right there. Just not squared up on the back bumper of that 18 Toyota. Keeps it safe. The 48 lifts a little bit. And then right there you saw Tibbetts when he had to make the move to the high line to try to avoid running into the back of his teammate David Smith. Got squirrely. Right. Watch the 45 right there. Loses the back end. Has to chase it back down the track and takes out David Smith. Comes back across the track into Cedric Ingram. Little bit of damage to the right front there of Bollinger. Let's back it up and see exactly what happened to him. Oh, the 22 comes back down after getting pushed from behind. Right there. Right there. Gets ran over from behind. And down into him he goes. Unfortunately, that is just a way of super speedway racing. Let's see what David Smith's ride all entailed. Obviously, he was the one that got spun in the beginning of this. So right there, you saw Tibbetts get loose, have to chase that truck, goes back down the track, gets hit by Schultz right there, and then more carnage, Steve Bocock and a couple others. And, yeah. Super Speedway racing at its finest here, folks. But we are under caution for the 5th time tonight. Steve Bocock still on pit road trying to get damage fixed to the number 12. Gonna get the damage fixed, and down and away he goes. Paint to Luck still sitting on pit road as well. Stephen Henning as well. Gary Wright, Cam Jester, all still sitting on pit road trying to get damage fixed. Dylan Tibbetts is going to leave out. Cole Larson still sitting on pit road. Colin Bollinger, he's still sitting on pit road. Several trucks with damage in this one, as you see Stephen Henning now taking off. Paint to Luck in the 17 still sitting there trying to get damage fixed. The field going through turns 3 and 4. We're going to have to see, when does that 17, when does the 11 of Bollinger, when are they able to take off? Let's get your track map up. All right, you can see the 11 has left. The 17 has left. Cole Larson in the 20s left. Camden Jester has left pit road. So, and then there goes the 16. So everyone is going to get their truck fixed before the pace truck has come by. So they are going to stay on the lead lap. And now you see Christopher Thomas, the one and lone truck besides Hunter Manley and Robert Babcock out back, coming down pit road. And that is going to hand the lead over to JD Larson. These guys are going to be coming down. Let's watch their pit. He's come down. He's taking no tires, filling her up with some gas. It looks like maybe getting a little bit of last-second damage fixed, as Christopher Thomas is still going to be sitting on pit road in that Grady White Boats Chevy. Now, down and away goes the 5. But the field, side by side, the lights are off on that iRacing pace truck, just shy of the halfway point in this one, folks. We are getting ready to go back racing this time. JD Larson first, Alberto Ebar second, Cole Owens third, Brandon Dunford fourth, Austin Schultz fifth, Gary Wright sixth. I'm sorry, Bradley Wright, not Gary Wright. Bradley Wright sixth, Owen Bridges seventh, Nicholas Don Francisco eighth, Christopher Pendell, that is, in ninth, and David Chandler wrapping up your top 10. But here we are getting ready to go back racing this time. Out of turns 3 and 4, the pace truck leading the field once again. Your only retirement tonight so far still has been Zach Roethlisberger in the 93. But we are back under racing conditions here in Daytona. Alberto gets himself a great restart. Dunford behind him. Great restart by the 13 that time. He was ready for it. Not quite going to clear that inside line, but dead even heading through turns 1 and 2 with a big gap to the guys out back to help him. Is that outside line going to be able to prevail and hold on against the hard charging inside line? Someone way out of whack out back. Couple trucks dropping back to the back. Remember, folks, these guys had to change their strategy. Seasons prior, these guys have been given 2 fast repairs for super speedway racing. Well, this season, we decided 1 is enough. Maybe with 2, guys were driving too aggressive. With 1, they got to be smart, conserve their stuff, save that fast repair, because the last couple laps are going to be insane. And these guys, so far, the racing, besides a couple pushes that probably shouldn't have been made, this has been a fantastic race. 27 trucks still out there logging laps around the 2.5-mile track of Daytona International Speedway. Now, you see the 48 of David Smith down on that apron, letting the field go by. Dropping to the back. Remember, he was just involved in that incident. Probably had to use a faster pair. Now, Alberto Ebar getting a big push from J.D. Larson. But here comes Dunford with the pushes from Don Francisco behind him. Who's going to lead him back to the line? It's going to go to the way of the 9 of Dunford. Owen Bridges in his return to NEXXTCAR. He has found himself up there in the 3rd truck on that outside line. Now trying to find his way back up towards the front. Owens, a longtime member of NEXXTCAR in the Heat era, and then joined us for a season in iRacing, had to step away, and now back behind the wheel of a NEXXTCAR truck. Great to see him back out there, no doubt about it. So a couple guys making their return to NEXXTCAR this season. Remember, Robert Babcock, he was suspended indefinitely by NEXXTCAR for a couple of questionable actions that took place a couple seasons ago at Auto Club Speedway. He was suspended indefinitely, banned from the league, and then decided that, we decided that, hey, let's see. He says he's cleaned up his act. He's changed the way he races. And so far, everything is looking on the up and up for Robert Babcock and his return to NEXXTCAR. So a couple veterans getting back behind their wheels of the NEXXTCAR Truck Series. But out front, it's a veteran, Alberto Ebar, leading the way here at Daytona. That got tight out of turn number 4. Here comes Dunford. Huge run out of turn number 4. You saw how swirly that 13 and 18 got, and that's exactly what Dunford needed. As folks, we are officially halfway through this race. Officially through the halfway point of this race here at Daytona in Season 4, Week 1. Beautiful look at 27 trucks flying by. And you know what, folks? Let's get an even better look at all these trucks. What do you guys say? Let's turn up the volume of the trucks. It's time for some NEXXTCAR It Up here at Daytona. 27 trucks. Let's hear all the horsepower. 27 NEXXTCAR trucks making their way around a 2.5-mile track of Daytona International Speedway. Man, that's a great sound as these trucks flew by us at just under 200 miles an hour. Still, side by side, bumper to bumper through the first 10 rows. Absolutely love it. Now, Dunford clearing that inside line, drops down in front of Alberto Abar. Now, Don Francisco leading the charge on that high line. That's going to get tight. 3 wide heading into turn number 1. Owen Bridges up high against the wall, keeping it out of the wall. Now, Dylan Tibbetts has to make an aggressive move. Caution's going to fly for the 6th time tonight. Dylan Tibbetts involved in this one once again. Major implications for a lot of trucks tonight. Remember, these guys only have one fast repair, and several of these guys having to use it early on. That all started when Owen Bridges got a little too high up there in a 3 wide situation. And Dylan Tibbetts having to make an aggressive move to try to avoid running into the back of him. And mayhem ensues. Watch the petty blue 45 there. You see Bridges keeping it out of the wall up until right there, and then he comes down. Actually, that had nothing to do with them. That started in front of them. I am so sorry. That started with the 24. Nicholas Don Francisco. Right there in the middle. The number 24. Right there, comes down, not clear, right in front of Schultz. Wow, honestly, I thought that had everything to do with about being in a 3 wide situation, but it had nothing to do with it. Let's jump inside the cockpit of the 12 of Steve Bocock and see what exactly he saw. Watch, they're up in the wall, and then a 24. You heard Steve. Wow. Great job by Steve avoiding that one as it just happened right in his lap. But folks, we're going to be under caution for the 6th time tonight. And once again, pit road, the busiest place in Daytona Beach. But folks, we're going to step away here once again from the NEXXTCAR Racing League here at Daytona. We will be right back in this one. Don't go anywhere, folks, because we are going to be right back to bring you more of the action.
I wanna drive around in the nice cars. I wanna forget about my scars and just have a good night. I smoke something down, I drink something down. I'm feeling it now, I'm feeling it now. I could say it out loud. When I see you, my heart goes down, 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 down. I could say it out loud. Down, 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 down. Say it out loud. Down, 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 down. Say it out loud. Down, 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 down. I could say it out loud.
Yeah, let's go. I'm unstoppable, do the impossible. I'm irresponsible, yet I'm phenomenal. I got an arsenal, I'm dropping bombs, you know. No, I'm not stopping, no. Conquer the obstacle. To the top, here I go, think I'm chosen to be the king of rock, think the people have spoken. I can hear the tick-tock of the clock, I'm in motion. So now I'm gonna pop, causing all this commotion.
Yeah, sometimes I think that I'm unstoppable. Yeah, ready to go, man, lock and load. That's right, I swear to God that I could drop you, bro.
All right, folks, the lights are off on the iRacing pace truck here at Daytona International Speedway. Glad to hear it, Toby. Toby, one of the ones that went to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway race tonight, so he's unable to make it to tonight's race along with Andrew Bolander. So glad to see you almost made it home, buddy, and can't wait to see you back out there next weekend when we head to Vegas for the Truck Series. But, folks, the lights are off on that pace truck. We are side by side once again. The front row, Alberto Eibar, Steve Bocock, leading the way back to the green flag. Give me 1 second, because it is showing Alberto Eibar is on pit road, which obviously he is not on pit road. So let's reload that. There we go. All right. So 60 laps down, 40 to go here. Basically, in this one, folks, the front row, American Defenders Racing teammates, Alberto Eibar, Steve Bocock, two guys still looking for their first win in NEXXTCAR. We talked about him. Steve Bocock, definitely one of the best in the business when it comes to super speedway racing. Alberto Eibar, one of the most improved drivers in NEXXTCAR, getting ready to go head-to-head here on this restart. Green flag is back in the air with 40 laps to go. Great restart by Steve, but no help out back. 2 car lengths back to the guy behind him. Not Cole Owens, Austin Schultz. Now, Schultz is going to get up there with the big push from Bollinger. Now, here comes Steve Bocock powering back on that outside line. Is he going to clear his teammate Alberto Eibar on the inside line? He will, as Alberto is going to fall back. Now, Steve Bocock's going to drop down in front of him. Teammates bumper to bumper here down the backstretch. You knew that move was coming. 2 teammates until that white flag flies. Once that white flag drops, there are no more teammates. But now, working together with 40 laps to go. Still a long way to go in this one, folks. Bocock, Eibar, Schultz, Bollinger, and Dunford, your top 5. Bocock leads them back to the line. Steve and Alberto have cleared that outside line. What do? Do they stay down low? Do they move back up top? Now, Schultz powering back with the side draft and push from out back. Not quite going to get up there side by side with Bocock now. Alberto trying to push Bocock back past him. If they get clear once again, do they stay down low? Do they move up high? Schultz not giving them the option. Powering back on that high line. Dead even at the line, it's going to go to Schultz. Schultz going to lead him down into turn number 1. Dead even Steve, but the big push from Alberto. He's going to clear him. Alberto does not. That's going to leave him stuck on that inside line. Now, can they push back as the 56 has got to power his way back along that outside line? J.D. Larson abandoning that high line. Here comes Matthew Tucker, the captain for the 56 in front of him. Steve Bocock's going to lead the field back to the line this time. Big pushes from his teammate out back. The rest of their teammates nowhere to be found towards the front. Bloodworth in 15th, Tulloch in 16th. Owen Bridges still on pit road in this one, trying to get damage fixed after that incident. Your only retirement tonight is Zach Roethlisberger in the 25. Now, Steve Bocock, I've talked to him several times in the offseason. He's told me this is his race right here tonight. He has got to come out here and get this win. He feels comfortable. I've talked to Alberto. I'm sorry, he doesn't feel comfortable. He feels confident. I've talked to Alberto. Alberto has said this season he is going to get that first win of the season. Now, these two, bumper to bumper, leading the charge on that inside line. Austin Schultz looking for his first win in the NEXXTCAR Racing League. Bollinger, a rookie. How incredible would that be? A rookie head to victory lane for the first time here at Daytona. Now, Owens through the middle, 3 wide. They touch through turns 3 and 4. Schultz trying to work a little bit with Owens, trying to block a little bit. Now, that's going to give Alberto the big run out of turn number 3 because now he's got a new guy pushing him of Cole Owens. Now, underneath the apron is going to go Alberto. They're going to keep it going straight. Steve leads them back to the line, but major swapping back and forth for these guys. Alberto still pushing hard on the back of the 12. Here comes Schultz. Schultz, like I was saying, still looking for that elusive first win in the Truck Series. Bollinger, a rookie, looking to make a statement in his first race. Matthew Tucker, your defending Truck Series champion, looking to show last season was not a fluke. He can do it again. Looking to try to get the best finish he can out of this one. Cole Owens in the same boat as every single driver in front of him, looking for that first win in the NEXXTCAR Racing League. Where is your winner tonight going to come from? And then don't look too far back. The Larsons, J.D. Larson. Remember, he was on his way to possibly a win a couple weeks before the end of last season and got taken out by David Chandler. Remember, he said David Chandler has got a huge target on his rear bumper. These two not really been around each other at all tonight. Will that carry over to this season? Now, that outside line falling apart, which is exactly what Steve and Alberto want to see, but now coming right back is Schultz in the 56. That outside line was starting to work its way back up towards the front, and they've got themselves exactly what they need. Now Schultz drops it down to the inside line in front of Steve Bocock, abandoning Bollinger and his team captain along with Tibbetts on that outside line. Now, the 56, now leading the charge on that inside line with the 11 on the outside line. Steve Bocock has just went from being the pushed to the pusher. You have seen where pushes have gone wrong several times tonight. Steve probably trying to be very conservative with these the bump draft. 56 is going to slip up a little bit, trying to figure out what lane to block. Decides to stay down low. The 11 of Bollinger is going to have a big momentum run with a big push from Tucker. Not quite going to get up there side by side with the 56. But you saw the 12 and the 13 both push up heading into turn number 1, but they all keep it going straight. Dead even out of turn number 2 down the backstretch. Side by side drag race at 190 miles an hour. That outside line gets the big run out of the corners. The inside line comes right back at him in the corners. But then out of the corner, it's going to be that outside line with the big momentum run again. Look at the run. The 11 gets being pushed by the 25. He's going to work his way back up to the front. He's going to lead his first laps of the night. With the defending series champion pushing, you've got to feel pretty confident in what that 25 can do. And just as I say that, he's going to abandon the 25. Now that's going to leave Tucker leading that outside line, almost getting bumped in the... Oh, big push. The 56 got the 11 all out of whack. Around they go. Caution's going to fly once again tonight. Steve Bocock involved in this one. Matthew Tucker as well. Unbelievable. Schultz, once again, a push gone wrong by that 56. Right there, not squared up with the 11. Got him all sorts of out of whack. And then Steve Bocock, I don't know why he went up as high as he did. Maybe thinking the 11 was going to continue coming up the track. But he went right up a little too high. And right around goes the 25 of Matthew Tucker. It's going to be interesting to see just how much damage these guys have. This can be very interesting. Several of these guys. Bocock, Alberto. How much damage do these guys have? Same with Dunford. Dunford has had a very fast truck. He kept it clean. He made it through. But the 011 of Cool Owens, keeping it out of that inside wall. How much damage? Christopher Thomas comes back up, doesn't apparently realize that Steve Bocock's out there. And then Steve comes back down and shows his displeasure with that move. But, man, this is going to be very interesting. And just how much damage do some of these drivers have in this one, folks? But 30 laps to go from Daytona. We are going to step away once more as pit road is going to be packed in this one. Don't go anywhere, folks, because this race has been a good one, and it's only going to get better.
Always feel like I could break now, but I never let it take me to that place now. I won't ever let my thoughts get away now. I got better things to do, picking fate now. I just want to be the best, call me great now. I don't know if I'm okay or insane now. I remember better days on the playground, hoping I can find my way even when I'm feeling down. I fight, even when I don't know what is right. I'ma pick a side, and I'ma take pride. I will decide my fate, and I will never let them tell me who I am. If you try to shake me, I'll be damned. Planet on the ground is where I stand. Never give up, that was always the plan. It's so cold outside, I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold outside, I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold.
right, folks, the lights are off on that pace truck once again here at Daytona, getting ready to go racing once again here. Closing in on the end of this one, 27 laps to go when the green flags drops. Things are really going to start heating up here in this one. These drivers, they know they're closing in on the end of this one. You can see Dunford, Tibbetts down on that apron, saving fuel. Let's get your pit strength up. How long have these guys gone? Just 13 laps for those guys. You can see each time they pitted. So Dunford, 16, 22, 20, and then 13 laps under this pit cycle. Your longest one, Zachary Brooks, has gone 28 laps. So these guys can all make it on fuel from here on out. So now pitting is out of the question. Green flag back in the air here at Daytona. Dunford's going to get a great start, but so does Alberto Abar with the pushing from David Chandler into one. David Chandler pushing Alberto up there side by side with the 9 of Dunford. Here comes Tibbetts, one of the most aggressive guys so far in this one. Now pushing Dunford. Alberto Abar with the pushes from David Chandler is going to possibly look to clear these guys out of the outside. Now that inside line, this is where its strength is through the corners. But watch the run. That 13 of Alberto's going to get out of the corner. I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to clear that inside line. And he not going to be able to clear him, but he's going to get him back to the line. 26 to go. Brandon Dunford, a veteran of the NEXXTCAR Racing League, still looking to try to head to victory lane. Dylan Tibbetts, remember, last season, he got his first win ever. So now he knows what victory feels like. He knows just how bad that is, and especially in this playoff system. Remember, the NEXXTCAR playoffs are back, folks, and it is a win and you're in playoff scenario. 16 drivers will earn a spot in the NEXXTCAR playoffs for the last 6 races of the season. 10 races up until it. So if you win, you're in. And these guys know what is at stake. This is going to make these wins even more important. Side by side for the first 6 rows. Now, Alberto with the big momentum run off that high line. "25 laps to go. Dunford, Tibbetts, Abar, Chandler, and Ingram, your top 5 with J.D. Larson, Schultz, Trudeau, Thomas, and Henning. What a run for that 27 of Stephen Henning and Christopher Thomas, both having a fantastic run. Those guys as well looking to put their trucks in victory lane for the first time in the NEXXTCAR Racing League. Owens, Don Francisco swapping back and forth. Bocock, he's back in the 14th position. Steve Bocock, that is. Remember, he was just involved in that incident. Used the fast repair, his one and only fast repair. Actually, he didn't use a fast repair. He still got a little scrapes around the 12 on the left-hand side, so did not use a fast repair. I'm not sure if he's used one yet or if he kept it in the back of his pit box or what, but now still dead even. You can see him swapping out of turn number 4. Abar and Dunford. That high line is where you want to be coming out of these corners, but Dunford is going to lead them back to the line that time. 45 is going to get a little squirrely. These pushes are going to get even greater here in this one. These guys know with closing in on 20 laps to go, well, it's getting to go time. Some of the guys out back that we're going to be needing to keep an eye on. The 17, Peyton Tulloch, right now all by himself, just hanging on to the draft. Dustin Bloodworth's going to be leading the charge from the rear pack. And then some of these other guys, you got Matt Tucker. He's a lap down coming out of pit road into 25. So major implications in the first race of the season for your defending Truck Series champion, 7 laps down. So big news out of him and out of that 25 camp. Cole Larson, he's hanging out back in that 22nd position. So some of these guys have got a lot of work to do, closing in on 20 laps to go. If they're going to work their way back up towards the front, Hunter Manley, he's going to be trying to work his way back up there, show these veterans what he's got. But right now, Alberto Eibar continuing to be side by side with Brandon Dunford. That inside line starting to fall apart a little bit. You have about 2 truck gap between the 45 and the 19, the 45 of Tibbetts and the 19 of Brandon Ingram, or I'm sorry, Cedric Ingram. Trying to work his way back up there. That's going to allow Alberto to clear that outside, or I'm sorry, the inside line. Does he stay out there or does he drop down? He's going to decide to stay out there, and I don't blame him. The way that outside line momentum is coming around off of these corners, they're going to get some big runs here in these last 20 laps. So go where the momentum is. As you can see now, an even bigger gap between the 45 and 19. And that is going to start to hurt that inside line. Now, David Chandler, he's going to look to try to clear the 9. He's going to clear him. Barely. They both drop down there. Alberto goes down with them. That was tight out of, or heading into turn number 3. Now, Alberto is going to have to try to play both lanes. 20 laps to go. You see the ticker change over. 20 to go here in the season opener race at Daytona. Side-by-side action all through the field in that rear pack, folks. They're still hanging just out back. Hunter Manley in the 3, leading the charge with the 94. Christopher Pendell behind him. And how about this, folks? Cam Jester at one point was 2 laps down. Now, back on the lead lap here in this one with 19 laps to go this time. David Chandler all over the back bumper of the 13 of Alberto Eibar. Alberto looking for his first win ever in the NEXXTCAR Racing League. Same with the 18 of J.D. Larson. Same with the 1 of David Chandler. And here comes Stephen Henning in the 25. Nicholas Trudeau, he knows what victory lane feels like. Can he get back to it? Stephen Henning, I've talked about him. In the last 2 races of last season, he thought his career in NEXXTCAR was coming to an end. Has decided to come back for season 4. Things changed for him, and now making his return in a big way, up inside the top 5 for the 27 of Henning. Nick, don't drop down. You're not clear. I thought Nick was going to drop down with JD. That could have been ugly. Now, Alberto's going to slide up in front of Nick. That's going to be tight, and around's going to go Alberto. He was not clear. Caution for the 8th time tonight, and Alberto Eibar is going to have a heartbreaking end to this race. Alberto in the 13, just not clear of Nick. Man, heartbreak ending for the 13 of Alberto. Just not quite clear. Watch the green U.S. Army Toyota, second truck on that inside line. Right there, he needed to move up. He was clear, and then Nick just got the big run on that I side. Oh, and Bocock. Steve involved, heavy damage to the right front of the 12. Heartbreak for the 12 as well. Man, hard damage. Still a lot of damage to that 12 truck. Unbelievable. One crash is going to take out two of your top stories tonight. I'm not sure if Steve Bocock still has a faster pair or not. Look at the damage to the right front of the 12. Obviously, coming down pit lane. We're going to have to see. Same with Alberto. Nick's going to stay out. The lone truck up front staying out. Steve Bocock in his pit box. Did he have a faster pair? And he did. The 12 of Steve Bocock. Let's get a better angle of that right front. Brand new right fender on the 12. He is down and away, but with 16 laps to go, has the damage been done? Alberto Abar, he's down and out of pit road as well in the 13. Both of those guys definitely had a truck capable of heading to victory lane. Is the damage been done? Trudeau to Luck. Now, are going to make up your front row on this restart, folks. Wow. What a turn of events for Peyton to Luck in that 17. Peyton to Luck from Greenville, Tennessee, looking to try to head to victory lane in this one, folks. Trudeau, can he keep to Luck at bay from Charlton, Massachusetts? Let's do a quick through your field under caution here. Nick Trudeau has had a quiet night. Now looking like he's going to come to pit road, and he will. But he's had a pretty quiet night up until now. That's going to hand the lead over to Peyton to Luck. Peyton's had a very quiet night as well, as the lights are going to go off on that iRacing pace truck. Second place from Cochran, Georgia, David Smith. He's had a very solid night as well. Austin Schultz is going to move up into the second position. I'm not exactly sure how or why, but he's going to be able to move up into that second position. Dylan Tibbetts has found himself involved in a couple of different incidents tonight. Brandon Dunford, he's had a pretty quiet night from Milton, Florida. Got your first stage win of the race. So great race for him so far in the points. J.D. Larson, he's had himself a quiet night as well from Rockford, Illinois. Cedric Ingram, one of the rookies to the NEXXTCAR Racing League, along with Gary Wright. Both of those guys have had a very quiet night. Cedric has found himself running up front the majority of the night. And from Fluffergill, Texas? No, I probably butchered that city's name. I'm sorry, Gary. But, yeah, from Texas is Gary Wright in that number 16 Chevy. Robert Babcock in his return to NEXXTCAR up in that 10th position. He's had a very quiet night so far as well. Dustin Bloodworth looking to try to get his best finish in the NEXXTCAR series. But, folks, it's time to go back racing. 14 laps to go this time. Remember, the leader has the choose cone rule. He is the only one. Paint to Luck has seen what that high line has been able to do. He has made his decision to go to that high line in front of David Chandler. 132 of you guys tuned in here on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Well, let's get these drivers home. 14 laps to go this time. And the opening race of Season 4 in the NEXXTCAR Truck Series, green flag going to be back out in the air. Schultz is going to get a great launch on that inside line. Peyton Tulloch's going to drop in behind him. Now, a big gap between Tulloch and Smith and the rest of the field, and Chandler has a big gap between himself and J.D. Larson as well. So that's the last thing you want to see if you're Chandler. But Tulloch's going to work his way down inside that inside line right in front of David Smith. Now, the Toyota is going to step out. That's Dunford. Dunford's going to try and lead the charge on that high line. Tulloch stuck behind Schultz. Schultz leading the charge on the inside. Dunford on the outside. Chandler with them. Tulloch with Owens. I'm sorry, not with Owens, but Schultz. Now, the 9 and the 1, both going to clear that inside line. They both decide to stay up. Same with the 18. Does the 56 have some kind of damage that is slowing up? Tibbetts drops to the inside line. 13 to go. Dustin Bloodworth working his way up inside the top 8. Working the 4th truck on that high line. Trying to get up there. Trying to help carry ADR. Dunford leading the charge with the momentum run off that high line out of turn number 2. Down the backstretch they go. Larson peering to the outside. Maybe faking a look. Trying to get Dunford to move up so he can get underneath them. But Dunford prevails, and all of that has allowed David Chandler, who is still, believe it or not, looking for that first win in the NEXXTCAR Racing League in that number 1 Bud Platinum Toyota. He's going to lead them back to 12 to go. It's a drag race heading down into turn number 1. 12 laps to go, folks. It's going to get intense here. Look at everyone side by side down the backstretch. Side drafting, swerving back and forth. A great look at your field going through turns 3 and 4. Absolutely beautiful sight to see all these trucks bumper to bumper, side by side here in the opening race of season 4. Dunford still leading the charge off that high line. Is he going to try to jump down in front of Chandler? He can't. Carnage out back. The 3's going to go around. The 3 of Hunter Manley caution's going to fly for the 9th time tonight. Cedric Ingram involved in this one along with a couple others. And it all started with the 3 getting turned heading into turn number 1. He's behind Alberto. Let's jump inside your HVAC Designs blimp here. Watch the 3. He's behind the 13. Oh, the 13 checks up. And so does the 3, but the 11 of Bollinger did not realize that they were checking up. You can see the 94 right there checks up. Alberto checks up. The 3 checks up. The 11 being pushed by the 12 did not. And then just right around he goes into Cedric. Christopher Thomas involves Stephen Henning. A strong run the 27 was having involved in this one as well. Stephen Henning was having himself a great day in that 27. He's going to be able to keep it going though. But folks, 10 laps to go. Everyone pitting around the same exact time except for Schultz, Tulloch, and David Smith. They all pitted on lap 18 and 19. Chandler and the rest of the field all around lap 11, 12, and 13. So this is going to be an interesting finish here tonight, folks. 10 laps to go. These drivers, they know what's on the line here, folks. They know exactly what's on the line. A win and you're in. the NEXXTCAR playoffs. 16 races, 10 of which regular season, 6 playoff races. These drivers, they know you win, you're in. The stress is off. You can see David Chandler, Brandon Dunford running that apron. They shouldn't have anything to worry about with fuel. Only 13 laps, but they might be thinking, we might be going NEXXTCAR overtime racing here. We have 5 attempts at the NEXXTCAR overtime. You can see Zachary Brooks going back around the field here, getting another lap back. Brooks now just 4 laps down. But hey, who knows? At the end of this thing, we might have a couple more cautions, and Zachary Brooks might just find himself back up in the thick of it all. But 9 laps to go, folks. We are going to be going back racing with 8 laps to go in the first race of the season for the NEXXTCAR Truck Series. Toyota makes up your first 3 slots. Chandler, Dunford, and J.D. Larson. And then Austin Schultz is your first Chevy, then another Toyota and Robert Babcock. And then Peyton Tulloch, a Chevy, then 3 more Toyotas, Bloodworth, Tibbetts, and Cole Owens. And then your first Ford of David Smith. Any pit stop takers? I would think not, because at this point, track position is key. We're going back racing, folks, with 7 laps to go. If you think that the the racing so far has been intense, well, it is about to magnify. 7 laps to go, a spot in the playoffs, all on the line here. And who doesn't want to say that they won at Daytona, the World Center of Racing, one of the most prestigious tracks in NASCAR? Who doesn't want to say that they won here? I think every single person in this field wants to say they won at Daytona, and we are 7 laps away from that. Chandler, J.D. Larson, Schultz, Babcock, all looking for their first win in NEXXTCAR. Add Bloodworth, Tibbetts won, Owens, Smith, they all looking to get their first win. Your only winners in the top 10, Dunford, Tulloch, and Tibbetts. They are your only winners inside the top 10. Is the winner gonna come inside the top 10? Or can someone like Pendell, Abar, Bollinger, can they work their way up there from outside the top 10? This is still anybody's race. This is still anybody's trophy. You aren't safe anywhere, folks. We have seen a couple big crashes, but I got a feeling the big one is still lurking in the background, waiting to make its presence felt emphatically on these 26 trucks still out there. 7 laps to settle it all here at Daytona. Green flag back in the air. David Chandler got himself a great launch, maybe too good of a launch. Now, everyone behind him is going to get a big run. Dunford has to check up. That's going to make it 3 wide out back to luck to the outside. Chandler got a huge launch and a big launch at that. Too big of a launch. Now, 3 wide down the backstretch to luck, leading the highline charge. That's going to hurt that the middle lane, not the inside lane, but the middle lane. Now 3 wide for third. Oh, and around's going to go to 24 right in front of the 12. The 13, Alberto Abar involved as well. We're under caution once again. Tenth Caution of the night. Not exactly sure what caused that, but major damage to the front of the 12. He got up into the 13 of Alberto, the 24. Whoop, a little too far back. All right, 24. Let's get it on there with Nicholas Don Francisco, and let's see what happened from your HVAC Designs blimp. Watch him in the pink number 11. The 11 pushes up just a little bit. And right around he goes. The 21 of Camden Jester, who worked his way back onto the lead lap, involved in this one. Unbelievable. Wow. Not what you want to see at all, folks. What kind of damage has been done? Steve Bocock sitting on pit road in the 12. Nicholas Trudeau sitting on pit road as well. Owen Bridges still on pit road. He's had a bunch of damage to that truck. But Steve Bocock, a truck capable of heading to victory lane. Well, he's going to get that truck down and rolling here, so his night might not be done. But folks, with 6 laps to go, it's going to be very hard. And look at the damage to the left front. Look at the damage. A lot of damage to the left front of that number 12. It's going to be interesting to see just how bad does that damage affect the 12. 5 laps to go. Ingram, Jester, still on pit road. Cam Jester worked his way back onto the lead lap. Remember, early on went 2 laps down. Now, with 5 laps to go, all for nothing, as he's now sitting back on pit road. Alberto Abar on pit road as well. The 13 had himself what was going to look like maybe a trip to victory lane. Now, taken right out of his hands in that 13 truck. Matt Tucker's going to get that truck rolling away. The field going through turns 3 and 4. Alberto, is he going to get that truck rolling? Is he going to be able to get that truck out of there before he goes a lap down? Or will he go a lap down? The field coming through turns 3 and 4. You can see, to luck, a couple others down on that apron. I believe that's Schultz, and it is. Down there on that apron trying to save fuel. Alberto has left pit lane in the 13. He's going to keep it on the lead lap. Camden Jester in the 21 in the same boat, still on the lead lap. But folks, the field side by side behind the pace truck with its lights off. This is not NEXXTCAR overtime. 4 laps to go, 3 to go when the green flag drops. Your top 3, Chandler, Larson, Babcock, all looking for their first win. Dunford, he's won before. Bloodworth, Schultz, they're looking for their first win. Tulloch and Tibbetts have won. David Smith, Cole Owens, they're looking for their first win as well in NEXXTCAR. Where is your winner going to come from? With 4 laps to go. As long as you're on the lead lap, this is still anybody's race. How is our pit strategy looking? These guys, we're still good on pitting. The only one that might have an issue, David Smith, 25 laps since he pitted. He's the only one that might have a question mark next to his fuel. The longest we've seen is 28. But now, you've got to put that behind you. Your bet is made. We are going back racing with 3 laps to go. Chandler's going to lead the field back to the green flag here at Daytona. The 18, J.D. Larson, does not get going. He's going to stack up that outside line. That's going to allow Bloodworth to look to the outside of Babcock. Babcock throws the block. Bloodworth drops down underneath him. Robert, not able to drop down in behind him. He's to the outside of David Chandler, side by side for the lead. And here comes J.D. Larson with the push from Dunford. Now, paid to look, pushing his teammate Dustin Bloodworth behind him. Teammates lined up bumper to bumper. Around's going to go to 48 with the 17. Caution once again. We stay green. Caution flies once again. We are going NEXXTCAR overtime, and once again, a push gone wrong by the 45 of Dylan Tibbetts. Some of these guys just don't learn when you can push and where you can push. Watch that 45 dead center. Actually, 48 came down on him. I'm sorry, the 48 came down on Dylan. From the view we had earlier, it looked completely different. It looked like the 45 pushed on the left rear bumper of the 48, but that one shows a complete different story. Comes right down across the nose of the 17. Great save by both those guys. Honestly, those guys had a heck of a save. David Smith, yep, he hit the inside wall hard. I thought he kept it safe. A wild slide through the grass, ends in the inside wall. But folks, it is going to get crazy here in this one. We are going to step away for your final break tonight. I got to go get some water, and we have got to get ready for this insane finish. Don't go anywhere, folks. It is NEXXTCAR Overtime Racing. right, folks, welcome back to the NEXXTCAR Racing League here at Daytona International Speedway. 100 laps was not enough for these drivers. We are going NEXXTCAR overtime racing. Are we done with the crashes? I don't think so, because the intensity on this track is going to get magnified. Your front row, Robert Babcock and J.D. Larson. That last restart, J.D. did not get a good launch. Stacked up that outside line. Now, attempt number 2, this time on that inside line. This is going to be interesting. Several guys, front runners. Now, way out back in this one. Bocock, 22nd. Alberto Abar finding himself out back as well in the 19th position. Payne Tulloch in 12th. J.D. Larson in 15th. Several guys who have had a truck that is potentially a winner tonight, well, might not get the finish that they were hoping for in this one. It's NEXXTCAR overtime, folks. 3 laps to go. Are we done racing? Well, are we done wrecking? Well, only the drivers know the answer to that. It's NEXXTCAR overtime here at Daytona, and we are green flag once again. Great launch by Babcock. Problem is, actually, he is going to clear the 18. He's going to drop down in front. 2 laps to go this time. Now to 34, throws a big block on the 18 of J.D. Larson. Larson's going to drive it to the inside. He's going to get to the inside of the 34. Now with a big push from David Chandler. He's going to get a big push from Dustin Bloodworth. Big move by Pendell on that outside line with no help. Babcock goes up the block and 45 goes with them. Now, side by side, 3 wide, heading down the backstretch into turn number 3. J.D. Larson's going to lead the field back through turns 3 and 4. Tulloch has worked his way back up inside the top 5. He's got a teammate in the 51 to his inside. Now Tulloch, the second truck on that high line. He's behind Brandon Dunford. They're going to come through the tri-oval. Once again, white flag in the air presented by HVAC Designs. 1 lap to go here. Larson Dunford leading the charge around the outside line. Payne Tulloch, David Chandler with the pushes behind. Bloodworth now all over the back bumper of the one of David Chandler. Chandler, how aggressive does he get? He's looking for his first win in NEXXTCAR as well, along with J.D. Larson. Oh, around's going to go the 11 of Cole Larson off the front bumper of the 5 of Christopher Thomas. We're going to stay green. Now it's a drag race down the backstretch heading into turn number 3. Dunford versus J.D. Larson. J.D. Larson with the big push. Slides up. He's going to lose it. He's going to save it. Big save by the 18. That's going to hurt him, though. Now the 51 of Bloodworth's going to go around. Dunford with the big push from Payne Tulloch. He's going to find his way to victory lane at Daytona. Brandon Dunford wins it at Daytona. Brandon Dunford won the stage 1 and now ends the night heading to victory lane at Daytona. Brandon Dunford starts off season 4 a winner with a spot in the NEXXTCAR Truck Series playoffs. Unbelievable job by the 9 of Brandon Dunford as the fireworks are going off on the backstretch. Great race by the 9 of Brandon Dunford. Christopher Thomas going to come up and give him a little bit of a nudge there. A little bit of a congratulatory bump there. And Brandon Dunford is going to head to the tri-oval to do his burnout in the number 9 Toyota Tundra for HVAC Motorsports. Brandon Dunford's going to burn it down on the front stretch here at Daytona. Put in a wall now, buddy. It's over. The race is over. You won it. His teammate J.D. Larson's going to come up and congratulate him as well. J.D.'s going to come away with a strong 6th place finish to start out the season. And then his other teammate Cole Larson back there in 11th. But a fantastic race all the way around for Brandon Dunford in the 9. Let's go and let's get your race results up here for your Season 4 race number 1 here at Daytona International Speedway. Brandon Dunford going to get the season started off on the right foot with Peyton Tulloch in 2nd. Strong run by him. David Chandler 3rd. Robert Babcock in his return to NEXXTCAR in 4th. And Austin Schultz, a great recovery by him as well in 5th. J.D. Larson led the field back to the white flag. He's going to fall back to 6th with Dylan Tibbetts in 7th. Colin Bollinger in his first start in NEXXTCAR 8th, followed by another rookie, Cedric Ingram in 9th. Stephen Henning going to round out your top 10 in his return as well. 11th's going to go to Cole Larson. 12th, Christopher Pendell. 13th, Hunter Manley. 14th, Dustin Bloodworth. 15th, Gary Wright. 16th is going to go to Christopher Thomas. 17th is going to go to Bradley Wright. 18th is going to go to Nicholas Donfrancisco. Alberto 19th. Nicholas Trudeau rounding out your top 20. Steve Bocock with the damage to the left front in 21st. Camden Jester 22nd. 1 lap down, Cole Owens in 23rd. Remember, he got turned on the last lap off the front bumper of Christopher Thomas. And then 24th is going to go to way of Zachary Brooks. 2 laps down. 25th is going to go to David Smith. And then 26th is going to go to Matthew Tucker with Owen Bridges, rounding out 27th with Zachary Roethlisberger in 28th. But folks, that is going to do it for the race here. Stay tuned because we have got some post-race interviews coming up from Daytona. You're not going to want to miss them because there's going to be some hyped-up drivers, and there might even be some upset drivers. So this is not going to be a post-race interview you do not want to miss. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
So I pray, don't you dare take it away. Can't control what I say. Lost my mind cause your frame. Hey girl, what's your name? Lit me up just like a flame. Body in motion, I feel the commotion. Beyond you like lotion, I'm honest and broken. I flow like the ocean, I feel you were chosen to fix me, I'm broken. My heart that you stolen. Hey, stay with me, play with me, lay with me. Hate to see when you leave, chemistry feels like it's destiny. I just want you laying next to me, and I really don't want you to touch me. On your body feels like taking on a drug. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. Everything you do, I can't seem to get enough. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. Touching on your body feels like taking on a drug. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. Everything you do, I can't seem to get enough. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. Yeah. Everybody knows that I'm breaking down. Everybody knows I ain't faking now. Everybody knows my heart's vacant now. Yeah, she hates me now, I made mistakes but now I don't ever wanna be alone. I don't really ever feel at home. On my own, in the zone, that's the only way I know. Feeling low, about to blow back up. Here I won't ever let the doubt creep in. Gotta pop a couple more aspirin. I don't think I'll ever let you in. Easier to break it off best friends. I don't really understand myself. I don't really understand, need help. I don't wanna be left on the shelf. Couldn't even hear me if I yelled. It's so cold outside. I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold outside. I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold. feel like I could break now, but I never let it take me to that place now. I won't ever let my thoughts get away now. I got better things to do, picking fate now. I just wanna be the best, call me great now. I don't know if I'm okay or insane now. I remember better days on the playground, hoping I can find my way to even when I'm feeling down. I fight, even when I don't know what is right. I'ma pick a side, and I'ma take pride. I will decide my fate, and I will never let them tell me who I am. If you try to shape me, I'll be damned. Planet on the ground is where I stand. Never give up, that was always the plan. It's so cold outside, I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold outside, I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold.
All right, folks, welcome back here to the NEXXTCAR Racing League Truck Series post-race interviews from Daytona. Man, what a race from Brandon Dunford. You got the stage win, brother, and then you took that 9 truck to victory lane.
Yeah, man, I feel good about it. You know, I said that I was going to my teammates that I was going to try to stay out front all day, and that's exactly what we did. So, you know, obviously we wanted to get JD in there with us at the end, but it just didn't really work out that way with the way these restarts are. But, man, super happy with the effort from HVAC as collected, you know, from all of us. But, yeah, just super happy for this win. To get this season over means a lot.
Absolutely. What does this race mean for you throughout the rest of these 9 races in regular season? Obviously, the playoffs are back, and it is a win in your in-style playoff. So you grab that first spot available in the NEXXTCAR playoffs.
Man, I think it just gives you a big momentum boost, you know, because now you don't have to worry anything. Now you could take those extra risks, you know, be in pit, whatever it may be, to try to continue to capitalize on running good. So it's kind of a two thing, right? It gives you a little bit of a breather to not have to worry as much, but then you could take bigger risk as well. So it kind of just works two ways there.
Absolutely. So obviously this stage win was huge. Was that your plan, was to go out there and get that win? Because we saw a bunch of different strategies. You know, a lot of people dropping back like you typically see at super speedway racing, but you stayed out front. Did you have in your mind the whole time, I'm going to get that stage win? Or was it kind of one of those things that the opportunity presented itself and you went for it?
Kind of if the opportunity presented itself. I knew the guys that were running up there, you know, it was definitely a lot of aggressive racing tonight. You know, but I'm no stranger to that. So I like it, but it was kind of, if I was in the position to take it, I was definitely going to try to, and it really did work in our favor to be up in the front and be able to execute it right when the right around the stage, and then the caution came out. So I mean, it kind of screwed some people I know on that, but you know, it was one of those things that I wanted to take it if I was there.
Absolutely, man. Well, congrats on getting the first win of the season and opening it up on your way to victory lane and grabbing that first playoff spot.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it, and I just want to thank everybody for, you know, the way they race. I mean, I felt like the aggression level was high, but I felt like at the same time everybody was doing their job, even when we went 3 wide. But and of course everybody that puts their the hard work into this, from you to everybody else. I mean, got to thank y'all too.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Congrats on that. Moving on to your second place finisher, Peyton Tilloch. Once again, 1 spot too short.
Yeah, that's usually the story for me, especially in trucks. But hey, I'm actually not too mad about it tonight. That was winning was, I mean, yeah, you want to win every week, but entering this race, that was not my goal whatsoever. My goal was to survive, and you know, I think that plan went pretty well.
Absolutely. Yeah, it went pretty well. And it was interesting those last couple of laps. I mean, you know, David Smith came right across your nose there, and I thought for sure, well, the damage is done. That 17 truck is out of it. But there you were in second.
Yeah, man. I mean, I still view myself as one of the most underrated super speedway racers in here, and I mean, I showed it again tonight. I mean, a lot of people, I'm sure, thought I was out after that. I went skating across the grass and saved it, and thought race was over. We started 11th there, but I quickly made my way to, we took the white flag. I was already on the leader's back bumper. So, yeah, it just shows you can't give up on these type of races.
Absolutely. Kind of piggybacking off of what Dunford said, the aggressiveness was there. Even with only one fast repair tonight, everybody was aggressive, but it was clean racing. But a bunch of pushes gone bad, and you found yourself a victim of one of them.
Yeah, that's part of Super Speedway racing. I ironically managed to save my fast repair all race. I still had that in the bag, but that's Super Speedway racing. But hey, congrats to Dunford. You would never know we had drama last season, a little bit of beef, but I picked him up and we went to the front and he won the thing. So congrats to him.
Absolutely, man. Well, congrats on that second place finish and a heck of a start here to season 4.
Thank you, Ronnie. And shout out to the sponsor. If anybody's looking for a puppy for Christmas, we're going to have a litter that's going to be born right around Christmas time. So hit them up on Facebook, Big Creek Kennels. Thanks.
There you go. Moving on to your third place finisher, David Chandler. Man, it looked like you might have been heading to victory lane for the first time.
Ronnie, what a race, man. That was an absolute blast. Yeah, we had a pretty fast truck. I've been decent at super speedways, but I can't say that I'm great like Dunford is at these types of races. I've been getting a lot of pointers from Chris. He's pretty decent at these as well, especially with the pushing side. So I was kind of my plan all night. Didn't really come in here to win. I really wanted to get stage points. Unfortunately, that didn't really work out for us. But the backup plan was to try to get our way up there to that second or third spot inside row, and just push someone to the lead and just collect a good points day. We'll go for our wins at the short tracks or the intermediates or something like that. But to be that close, man, it was great. I was trying to give JD a big shot there at the end, and he got a little loose. So I apologize to him for that. But I knew that we were going to have to give it everything we could to get with Dunford. I even told him that I wasn't going to try to push him in the corner. But man, they had such a big run that I was just like, man, I don't have much of a choice. So we try to do that and play our cards right, and it ended up being a good night for us.
And that leads me right into what was going to be my next question. You heard Tulloch mention it. Working with Dunford, you never would have known that those two had beef last season. Well, you and JD Larson had your beef after a super speedway race last season. JD said you have a huge target on your back bumper after taking him and Cole out. Well, you found yourself pushing him when that white flag dropped.
Yeah, coming into the season, I try to put all of last season behind me. I'm sure he probably still, not fully, over it or anything like that. And I understand that. And, I'm an aggressive driver. Everybody knows that. And I'm not afraid to admit it, but, I'll try to run you clean. May run you hard, but I'm gonna run you clean. And if I ever get into the spot where, I got to push you, I'm gonna push you. We're teammates at that moment, and you just got to put all that out of your mind and just work together, it's just, that's how racing is sometimes.
Absolutely, man. Well, congrats on that third place finish.
Hey, appreciate it, man. Big shout out to the sponsor, Bud Light Platinum. If you want some beer, go to your local store and buy some Bud Light Platinum. All right, Ronnie.
There's plenty of stock because ain't no one buying it.
No one's buying it, so there's plenty of stock.
Fourth place finisher in his return to NEXXTCAR, Robert Babcock. Man, you had yourself one heck of a race tonight.
It was one of those races that everything clicked completely right. But it's like one of those races that should actually. I made a couple mistakes, but we clean those mistakes up. It'll be all good.
Absolutely, yeah. A lot of pushes gone wrong tonight, but you had yourself a very quiet race so far. The first part of the race you spent out back just keeping that truck clean, and then I looked up with 10 to go, and there you were, just cracking your way inside the top 10, and then a couple cautions fell your way, and you were right there at the end.
Yeah, saving the vehicle to the end is more important. And early in the race was a little too we were good. About 17 laps after I see how crazy the field was, I just decided to stay back there most of the time, save the truck to the end.
Absolutely. What kind of momentum does this finish here give you heading into the rest of the season? Because next week is Las Vegas. Yeah, it's a short track, but in the trucks, it kind of races like a super speedway.
It's a big boost. The fourth place finished. I said it feels good. It probably leads to a good race tomorrow. But I feel like with this man, I feel like it was always good.
Absolutely, man. Well, congrats on that fourth place finish tonight.
Thank you.
Austin Schultz, I don't believe is in here. He is not, but he had a pretty solid race, obviously grabbing a pole and coming home in fifth. So let's move on to your sixth place finisher, JD Larson. Man, I thought for sure for the first time you were heading to victory lane. You took the white flag, but then a bump gone wrong from David sent you back to sixth.
Hey, how we doing, Ronnie? Yeah, it's we're all this league doesn't give an inch. We're all battling for first place, and we all want the win, especially at Daytona. That's just how it goes. I thought for sure we were gonna get first, if not top two. Me and Dunford there, we were teaming up at the end, and we had a little bit of a game plan there, but took it 3 and 4 wide, and coming to the checkered, and that's just how it winds up. It's super speedway racing, and that's just how it goes.
Absolutely, man. So I'm asking you the same question that I asked David. Obviously you guys had your implications last season. When you saw him in your rearview mirror, how did you feel?
Oh, he told me there at the restart, he was going to give me a good push, and everything was going to be all right, and we would see what happens from there. So, all in all, everything went fine with David up until the end, and he just tried to make a move for the win, and anybody there in the top 5 is going to do the same thing. So, nothing wrong with that as far as David. So, that's just unfortunate. We got 6. I thought for sure we were going to get. We had a good chance of winning, and winning in a NEXXTCAR race here is definitely not easy by any means. There's a lot of good drivers in here, and super competitive, and makes it real fun, a lot of excitement, and this is what we live for. So we'll get ready to go to Vegas next week for race 2, and see what we can do there. Congratulations to HVAC, Brandon Dunford, for getting the team win there. That's awesome.
Absolutely, man. Well, congrats on that 7th place finish.
Yep. Thank you, sir.
Colin Bollinger, you in here, buddy? I'm not sure what your.
He's in here.
You said he is?
He is. I don't know if he's talking though.
Yeah, I'm not sure what his Discord name is.
It's Mo Power Celtics.
Gotcha. Mo Power, are you there, buddy? All right.
Apparently not.
Well. Oh, actually, Dylan, you're next. Dylan, what's going on, man?
Hi.
Completely skipped over you, man. How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Pretty good. You had yourself a pretty eventful night tonight in your very first race as a team captain for NEXXTCAR.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of had no agenda really going into it. I was like, all right, let's qualify for pit boxes, and then see how it works out. We knew it was a big field tonight. Wasn't quite as big as 33 like what is registered, but it was still a huge turnout. And so I figured if we qualify up front, well, maybe we can do what we did at Talladega at the end of last season. So all of us were up towards the front pretty much, but we just couldn't get lined up there for a while. A bunch of stuff started happening. People had to take fast repairs. Eventually, I got into D Smith at one point. There was a few times where both lines were checking up so much, and I just gapped the middle, and I just started passing people just to get track position, knowing it was a 2-lane track. But overall, I don't think this is one of them races that you just. I mean, it's a lot narrower than Dega. 3 wide's a lot more risky than it is there, but it is doable. And it was hard to trust a lot of people. There was people swerving all over the place throughout the night. it got better towards about middle of the race, and then it just got chaotic towards the end. It was just one of the things, but it worked out. Most of us are probably going to run part-time, but I think we're going to have a couple guys run full-time in the truck series. We'll see it on the cup side. Can't wait for tomorrow, but if if Dega had anything to say at the end of last season, if you thought tonight was chaotic, tomorrow is going to be even more chaotic because those cars are just way more of a handful. It's harder to run in a line and be patient. We'll see what happens, but no, everyone was on the same page, for a little bit of it. Eventually, hey, we're on our own agenda. Let's just get out of here with the best finish we can. Next week, again, expectations. It'd be silly to say it they're high because it is basically a restrictor plate track, almost for the trucks. First few laps are going to be full throttle. After that, it's going to be about tire conservation, but we'll see how that goes. We'll see how people manage it. Hopefully everyone got a little bit of sense of a lot of the guys that are new to the league. Hopefully everyone has a little bit better sense of how everyone's going to run each other. So, but I'm just glad that everyone's here and appreciate you guys for everything you do. And we'll go on to next week.
Absolutely, buddy. Well, you mentioned it. The numbers are high. I messed up on the sign-up sheet. I put the two Hugheses down, so they're actually not in the truck series. So we were only missing 3 drivers tonight, and all 3 of them, 2 of them actually, Andrew and Toby, they were at the Indy race tonight. And then Joshua Stout wasn't able to make it. So, yeah, kind of going, mixing what you said with the numbers and what J.D. Larson said. He said it's very hard to win in the NEXXTCAR series. And you mentioned it with the numbers. It's going to get even harder.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think if you got the speed and you have the speed, getting that qualifying position, being up front is going to be the key for the whole season. If you can qualify up front, keep yourself out of trouble, and you play the same strategy that everybody else around you is, I think that's going to be the key to winning races this week. I don't think raw speed is necessarily going to get you a win this year. We'll see when we get into the smaller intermediate tracks, but I don't think that in these, with the trucks anyway, Cup might be a little bit different, but with the trucks, you're not just going to pull away from somebody. I think, like you seen last season, that field was the biggest by far towards the end of the season. So I hope it can maintain on both sides this year. And, the biggest thing is I hope everyone just gets better.
Absolutely, buddy. Well, congrats on that 7th place.
Appreciate it, man.
And I don't think anyone else inside the top 10 is here, so I think that is going to do it here for the post-race interviews from Daytona International Speedway. 100 laps was not enough. We got our first look at NEXXTCAR Overtime, where 103 laps later, Brandon Dunford went to victory lane for the first time this season. Next week, these drivers get to do it all over again at Las Vegas. But tomorrow night, the Next Gen Cup Cars heads to Daytona for their chance at it. 120 laps. It's going to be a wild one tomorrow night. I hope to see you all there. Enjoy the rest of your week, and good night.